Good morning. Gonna try to be very mask off. I feel like I wanted to talk about something that we don't talk about enough, maybe not in the same way. And I just wanted to say how much of a privilege it is to be an American citizen to those that have been born here and raised here, whether your parents are immigrants or not. Whether you like to believe it or not, you're very privileged. Very. If there's one thing I've learned from watching others that have had to come here, we are definitely in unprecedented times. And as someone that is a US born citizen, I feel like it takes my part also to discuss that people like me are very privileged. Yes, like other people do, I have to worry about employment. I do have to worry about paying bills like everybody else does. Of course, I am a woman in America. So women already have faced prejudice and we continue to be targeted. Not nearly as bad as other countries, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't worry about what we've got going on. I'm pretty sure if I go to certain states speaking my family's language, I'll probably get looked at cross-eyed, right? But that piece of paper that I have lets me get government care when I need it. Yeah, I have to pay taxes, but so does everybody. But again, taxes, when used properly, can mean very well for society, and I don't mind that because money does not cycle the way you think it does. I get to see the privileges if I wanted to. I get to see what I pay for in my taxes. I get to see it, and I get to reap those benefits for later, depending on the state of the economy if they don't destroy it. But, the only debt that we have to worry about is if we want to go traveling for fun, school, housing. And these are things that us Americans deal with, and so does everyone else that comes here. Okay, as an American, US born citizen, I'm very privileged. I don't have to adjust my status. I don't have to worry about the debt that is to make sure that I have the money to adjust my status, additional to the cost of living, the cost of just trying to survive in America. I do deal with that as a US citizen that is independent, but I don't have to worry about updating any papers every other month and making sure I even have the money for it. That's like over thousands of dollars. Me as a US American citizen that I have worked very hard and I continue to work hard and I try to find things to work. Working a lot of jobs does take a toll on you and I don't think that's for anybody. And I don't like to be underpaid and I don't think we should allow anyone that works in this country to be underpaid. I don't think it's fair that I deserve rest and to stop when my health goes to crap, but people that came here from other countries have to suck it up. I think I see everyone as humans and it gets to everybody and I believe everyone deserves rest, maybe like a week off. I'm privileged because I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to be taken away tomorrow away from my apartment. I wouldn't have to worry about telling my landlord, hey, I won't be coming back randomly and not getting my money back. I don't have to worry about leaving any children behind randomly or my children being placed in a space that they're not familiar with instead of just going to school. I feel like I'm very privileged because I don't have to worry about my children getting scared at school, getting surprise visits, being told that they're leaving, being treated like as if they're criminals without even due process, right? I know that I'll always have due process, the right to due process because I'm an American citizen. I won't get a blink of an eye. And I'm also white, presenting. My blood is not American, but it doesn't matter because people don't really know. I've never been questioned if I was American or not. So, there's always a little bit of like prejudice, of course, if I were to speak Spanish, but it doesn't matter because I still have privileges. I don't have to worry about updating my papers. I don't have to worry about what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I don't have to worry about knowing that I might get thrown into a country that is after me. I don't have to worry about leaving my children behind randomly. I don't have to worry about coming up with $10,000 in an economy that can barely even save, even no matter how hard you work and what degree you have. I don't have to worry that I maybe forget a deadline for an adjustment of something. I don't have to worry about having to prove myself as a hardworking person in this country because apparently just because I was born here, it means I deserve rights. But if you're not born here, you have to work, if not 3 times as hard. I don't have to worry about explaining myself everywhere. I don't have to worry about getting treated like as if I am from the wrong side of the world. And These are privileges that are very basic that I can discuss. It's a very real morning for me. I don't have to worry about being intimidated for my rights. All I have to say is that I'm a US American citizen and people assume that I have the right to do whatever I want. For some reason, people forget that this country was made by immigrants and made to welcome immigrants. The people that made our Constitution were immigrants. A lot of these rights, if not all of them, were also made for immigrants as well. I don't have to worry about that. Me. I don't know what it's like to not see my family for days, for weeks, for months, considering that the economy is not matching the pay rate as to what it costs to live here, because our inflation rate is disturbingly still pretty high, considering that we have a lot of technology. I don't have to worry about not seeing my family ever again in another country. I don't have to worry about my family being hurt in another country. I'm not saying that something bad can't happen to me or other Americans in this country. I'm not saying that Americans don't get hurt every day, that they don't go to jail, that they don't get falsely accused, that they don't get abused. I'm not saying Americans don't get abused and we don't have an abusive system, but we're very privileged, because imagine that and then the complete opposite of everything I was just saying. No security. Being demonized, pretty much. Dehumanized. If you're an American and you struggled, congratulations. You are a normal person. Immigrants have to go through that times 5. Because while you are worrying about paying for children that you chose to have, by the way, you've lived in this country your whole life. You chose not to get involved with politics and know the state of your country. That's on you. You chose to have children because you just need to feel that fulfillment, because you think having children is like collecting coins and like buying like a cute little doll. Okay, there's people that come here, bring their families for better, and get treated for worse. And they're doing the same thing as you, and they're working 5 times harder. Okay, while you're sleeping, they're up at night filling out paperwork, trying to figure out how they can get everyone to stay, and probably picking up an extra shift so that everyone can stay, while you just eat McDonald's and like Doritos and like complain because Stacy was annoying at work. As an American citizen, I will say that I'm very privileged. I have had my fair share of issues like everybody else, but in the state that we're in, if you're an immigrant, you deal with the same issues that we do times 5. That's the problem. It's not that Americans don't struggle. The problem is that immigrants struggle more for no reason. They're not getting proper representation. They're not, it's just, we have a broken immigration system. But if you're an immigrant, you're being looked at as a criminal first, which doesn't make sense. A piece of paper does not describe who you are. Look at all the people that have come after our presidents. Look at all the people that have our schools. As an American citizen, I am no less guilty than an immigrant. There are plenty of Americans that don't even pay their taxes. I mean, I pay my taxes. Why is it that we can excuse 500 different Americans, but one immigrant that is $50 short because their restaurant or their job decided to close down and they can't make a payment, now they have to go through hell and back. And then they stole 1 bag of Doritos maybe from Target, who's totally fine. I don't know. I don't care if you came from immigrants. If you are a US American born citizen, 2nd generation, 3rd generation, doesn't matter. You deal with the same issues that everyone has to deal with, but you have it easier. I have it easier. I could never compete with an immigrant that has to. Just the paperwork alone is too much. Just the fear of not knowing what's going to happen to you the next day is too much. So with that, I digress. Think what you want. Alright, this was just raw feeling. I'm not reading anything. I didn't make a script. This is just raw. I'm in my PJs. I have to go to work in like 20 minutes. And I love this country, and I hope we at some point get better. Thank you. I am chewing on watermelon. Goodbye.